Welcome back to Guided Reading with Miss Oliver. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our lesson, but before we do, let's make sure we have our super important things that we would need to grow our brains. The first thing we need are the worksheets that we're going to work with for this lesson. The first worksheet says circle the UT picture and write the words. You'll see some pictures at the top, some things at the bottom. The second worksheet says match words with each picture. You'll see some pictures at the top, words underneath it, words at the bottom, an area for you to draw a picture on the side. The second thing you'll need is your book that we're going to be reading for this lesson. You'll need your 2 pencils. And most importantly, you want to make sure you're in a quiet and calm space so you can focus and grow your brain. So if we need to pause the video right here to get your items together, please do so. If not, we can move on to the next slide. So what are we going to do in this video? The first thing we're going to do is go over those same 10 sight words that we talked about in the last video. Then we're going to move into part 2 of our word family lesson. We're going to end it with reading our book, Pick Me, and answer some questions about what we read. So jumping right into our sight word review, repeating after Miss Oliver, the first word is food, wrote, love, sky, much, both, fun, see, door, again. One more time from the top. Food, wrote, love, sky, much, both, fun, see, door, and again. Awesome job. So now we're going to move into part 2 of our word family lesson. So this is just going to be a quick review because we went through this yesterday in our last video. So we talked about UT words. We know that U makes the what sound? It makes the sound for up. And we know that T makes the what sound? Sound for top. If we put those two sounds together, we get We know that all the special words that we're working with for this lesson all have the sound at the end. So words like nuts, hut, cut, gut, but, rut, strut, and shut. Moving on to our independent practice time. So go ahead and take out your worksheets that we're going to need for this lesson along with your 2 pencils. I'll give you 5 seconds to do so. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The first thing that we're going to do with our worksheet is write our first and last name at the top. You're going to write it on this paper and on this paper. After that, we're going to dive right into our lesson. So the first half of the worksheet says circle the UT pictures and write the words. We see some pictures at the top and some lines underneath it. So we're going to find all the pictures that have the ending sound UT. If I look at this first picture, I know that is a nut. So I'm going to think about, does that have a UT sound at the end? Nut. That does have UNT at the end. So I'm going to circle that picture and I'm going to write it on this line. N-U-T, nuts. Then I'll go to the next picture. Jug. Jug. That does not have a UT at the end, so I know that's not one of the pictures that I'm going to circle. I'm going to make an X through it. Then I'll move on to the next picture. After you finish this top part, you're going to come down to part 2. It says circle one of the 3 words to complete the sentence. So you're going to read the sentence and you're going to circle the word that makes sense in the sentence. I'm not going to read the sentence to you because I know that you can do that yourself. After you read your sentence and write in the correct word, you're going to come down to part 3 and you're going to draw a picture describing the sentence. So that means if that sentence said the cat ran, you're going to draw a picture of a cat running. If that sentence said the dog ate the food, you're going to draw a picture of dog eating food. So whatever that sentence said, you're going to draw a picture of it. After you finish this worksheet, you're going to go on to the next one. It says match word with each picture. You're going to look at these pictures at the top and you're going to think of the word that goes with that picture. I know that is a hut, hut. So I'm going to look for the word hut. That's an H sound, so I'm going to look for a word that has an H. H-U-T. This is the word hut. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a line from this picture to the word hut. And I'm going to do the same with these other 3 pictures. Once I finish that, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to trace my words. As I trace the words, I'm going to say it. Tracing it. And then I'm going to say it. Shut. Same thing with the other 3 words. Then you're going to draw a picture of one of the words. So you can draw a picture of a hut, a shut, a gut, a nut, or you can draw a picture of any of these words, whichever one you choose. So you have about 8 minutes to work on this worksheet, and then we're going to bring it back and move on to the next lesson. So go ahead and pause the video right here. We're bringing it back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, since we completed our worksheets, you can go ahead and take your paper and your pencil and you can push that to the side. And now you can go ahead and take out your book for our lesson. So while you're getting your book out, Ms. Oliver is going to do the same. Let's see if we can do it in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So in our last video, we had a chance to predict what this book was going to be about. We had a chance to go over words to know, and you even had a chance to read it on your own. Now we're going to read it together. Since you already had a chance to read it, I'm going to let you lead and I'm going to follow. That means that you're going to read first and Ms. Oliver is going to read after you. So starting with the title, I want you to read first and don't forget to get your pointing finger ready because we know we point to every word that we read. First thing we're going to read is our title. Your turn. My turn. Pick me. Your turn. My turn. I always get picked last for kickball. Your turn. My turn. David picked me last on Monday. Notice how I'm pointing to every word as I read. Your turn. My turn. Olivia picked me last on Tuesday. Your turn. My turn. Carter picked me last on Wednesday. Your turn. My turn. Anya picked me last on Thursday. Your turn. My turn. Louis picked me last on Friday. Your turn. My turn. Jean picked me last on Saturday. Your turn. My turn. I asked to pick on Sunday. Everyone agreed. Now I get to pick. The end. Awesome job. So the other day we predicted that this story would be about a little boy who got picked last to play. Were our predictions correct? Yes or no? They were correct. This story was about a little boy who got picked last to play. Let's answer some questions about our book. So our first question says, what is the problem in this story? What's the problem in this story? Think about it before you answer. Let's take 10 silent seconds to think. What was the problem in this story? Mm-hmm. That's right. The problem in this story was the little boy always got picked last. And did that make him feel happy? No, it didn't. And how do we know that he wasn't happy? What in the story let us know that he was not happy? That's right, his face. We can see in almost all the pictures, he had a sad face because who wants to get picked last? Not me. Where does this story take place? Where does this story happen? Does it happen at a church? Does it happen at school? Where does this story take place? Think. 10 silent seconds for us to think about our answer. Where does the story take place? That's right, it takes place at a park. If we look at the background, we see some trees and grass, we see some buildings at the back. So this definitely happens in a park where some kids are about to play kickball. Next question says, what is the main character? The main character solves this problem by doing what? What did the main character do to solve his problem of getting picked last? 10 silent seconds to think about it. How did the main character solve his problem? That's right. He solved his problem by asking if he could pick first on Sunday. And everyone agreed, so he got to pick. He no longer was last because he got to pick first. The next question said, what lesson does the author want readers to learn from this story? What do you think the author wants scholars or kids like you to learn about this story? 10 silent seconds to think about it. So what do you think? What lesson does the author want readers to learn from this story? That's a really good one. Maybe the author wants readers to learn that we should always take turns so one person is not always picked last. That was an excellent answer. Kiss your brain. The last one says, listen to this sentence from the story. I always get picked last for kickball. What does the word always mean? 10 silent seconds to think about what the word always means. I always get picked last for kickball. What does the word always mean? All the time. Awesome job. You are so smart. I can tell that you read this book the other day and you really comprehended what you read. So now since we read our book and we answered our question, that's the end of our video. So I'll see you next time and you have a great day. Bye.